Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the invisible strings of our past. Have you ever found yourself reacting to some tiny, minor inconvenience with just a massive surge of anger? Or maybe pulling away from a partner right when you actually wanted to be closer? We usually write these moments off, right? Like, oh, I'm just having a bad day, or I'm super stressed out. But today, we're going to figure out who the hidden pilot behind our adult behaviors really is. We're going all the way back to the beginning to explore how the absolute earliest chapters of our lives are literally still writing the script for our present-day reality. Okay, so let's jump right into this incredibly validating and honestly super powerful truth. Your childhood isn't your fault, but it may still be controlling you. This idea right here, it sets the entire foundation for our journey today. Now, to be clear, we are absolutely not here to lay blame. Nope. We're here to uncover the actual mechanics of human behavior. Because think about it, so often we carry around this immense, heavy amount of guilt for our reactions, our relationship patterns, or our anxieties. And we do this without even realizing that our brains were fundamentally wired by environments we had zero control over as kids. Acknowledging this isn't about playing the victim at all. Actually, it's the ultimate act of taking responsibility. Because once you finally see the control your past has over you, you can grab that steering wheel right back.
So, what exactly are you addressing when you confront these psychological forces dictating your everyday life? Well, to really take the wheel back, we need a roadmap. We're going to navigate through the profound impacts of childhood trauma and emotional neglect, explore the blueprint of attachment theory, and then really unpack the nuts and bolts of your inner child, emotional triggers, and defense mechanisms. It's like a giant puzzle, and we're about to put all the pieces together.
All right, part one, roots of the past, trauma and neglect. So a really crucial starting point here is recognizing the profound difference between the active scars of childhood trauma and the passive, often totally unnoticed, void of emotional neglect. We hear it all the time, people dismissing their past by saying, well, nothing terrible really happened to me. But here's the thing. Think of childhood trauma as an active, destructive event. It's like a house on fire. It's loud, it leaves a very visible mark on your memory, and it completely shatters your sense of safety. Emotional neglect, on the flip side, is passive. It's actually defined by what didn't happen. It's the total absence of essential emotional support, validation, or attunement from a caregiver. It is a foundation that's just slowly rotting away because it was never properly maintained in the first place. And here's the kicker. Both of these fundamentally alter how you view yourself and your worth in the world as an adult. Moving on to part two, attachment theory, the emotional blueprint.
What's fascinating is how the emotional blueprint built by our early caregivers becomes the exact script we use for adult relationships today. Think of attachment theory as the ultimate psychological framework for human bonding. I mean, when you were a kid, your survival literally depended on your caregivers. Your brain recorded every single interaction. Did they respond when you cried? Were they consistent? Or were they terrifying? The answers to those questions built a blueprint. If your needs were met consistently, you developed a secure attachment, trusting that the world is, generally safe and people will actually be there for you. But if there was trauma or emotional neglect, your brain developed an insecure attachment style, just to protect you. Fast forward to today, and that exact same blueprint dictates how you text your partner, how you handle conflict at work, and just how much you trust the people closest to you. You are literally projecting your childhood relationship with your caregivers right onto your adult peers. Wild, right? Okay, let's jump into part three. Meet your inner child, the invisible puppeteer.
So your inner child is essentially this invisible puppeteer still holding on to and reacting from all those early instances of trauma, neglect, and attachment we just talked about. And listen, it's not just some poetic metaphor. It's a living, breathing psychological entity within you right now. When you're going about your day, making logical, rational decisions, the adult you is totally in charge. But your inner child retains all the vivid emotions and, this is absolutely crucial, all the unresolved needs from your past. If you felt unheard as a 7-year-old, there is literally a part of your psyche that still feels 7 years old and still feels completely unheard. The adult you knows that, say, a delayed email reply isn't the end of the world, but your inner child, they might interpret it as the ultimate abandonment. Understanding this separation is a total game changer. It explains exactly why our reactions are sometimes completely disproportionate to the actual situation at hand.
Which brings us to part four, triggers and defenses, mechanics of the mind. Let's really look at the mechanics here. This is the chain reaction, where a present-day emotional trigger instantly deploys a totally outdated defense mechanism. Step one is the emotional trigger. So a present-day event occurs. Maybe your boss criticizes your work or a friend cancels plans on you. To the adult you, it's just a minor bump in the road. But to the inner child, it perfectly mimics an unresolved childhood wound of inadequacy or rejection. That trigger basically flips a switch, and instantly we move to step 2, defense mechanisms. Before your logical brain can even process what's going on, your unconscious mind deploys a behavioral shield to protect that vulnerable inner child. You might lash out in anger, or maybe you completely shut down and withdraw, or perhaps you instantly become a people pleaser just to avoid conflict. Now, these defense mechanisms were highly effective survival strategies when you were young and powerless, but today, they're basically obsolete software programs running on a modern computer, and they're often sabotaging the very adult relationships and goals you're trying so hard to build. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, deeply introspective question to really challenge you. Who is actually driving your reactions today? The adult you or the child you once were? The next time you experience an intense emotional reaction, I want you to do something for me. Just pause. Feel that spike in your heart rate. Notice the sudden urge to fight or flee, and just ask yourself that question. By simply pausing and identifying the trigger and the defense mechanism, you create this tiny, beautiful window of space between the past and the present. You acknowledge the inner child, yes, but you finally allow the adult you to take the wheel. Look, your childhood may have shaped the road you are currently on, but with this understanding, it absolutely no longer has to dictate your destination. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the invisible forces of our past. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I will see you in the next explainer.